We're getting ready for Hollywood.
Yeah, well, we're definitely Hollywood style.
For sure.
Um, well, we're live right now. Welcome to our live broadcast tonight, and I've got with me. I'm Sabrina Jean, and with me I have Melinda, and I've got our full name on there. So Melinda Johnson. If you don't want your name on, I guess I could take that off.
Oh, I don't mind. I don't mind.
Okay, good. How was your Christmas? Merry Christmas, everybody. How was yours, Melinda?
Mine was good. It's always good. There was no snow, so actually it was a little low key this year. So it was my first time away from the kids. So next year we'll get together though.
Awesome.
So it was just easy, laid back.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Same here. Ours was different. Well, if you can imagine, in Wisconsin here, it was 50 today.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was bizarrely warm, and I don't think I can remember a winter as warm as it was today, but we're just going to wait a little bit. Mitchell, hello, welcome. Mitchell's also in Florida. I got a hi, y'all. I can't see who's on. So as you're jumping on, I'm on tonight with Melinda, and Matthew will be coming on a little bit later when we're done. He's got a transmission he'll be sharing with you. He's been working on all day. And I wanted to jump on and do a quick little interview and introduce you to Melinda, who just returned with us from our last workshop in Puerto Rico, the Eagle Eye 33. And so why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself of and I know if anybody's jumping on and seen, Melinda shared a testimonial video, but it's one thing to have a video and another to have a little bit of interaction. So what fun, like, why not, huh? It was just Christmas, getting sassy. So
Sure.
So why don't you share a little bit about your background, like where, how'd you find Matthew's work, and what prompted you to even reach out about attending the last workshop?
Well, I mean, I've been I guess a YouTube junkie for a couple years, and I probably put it in as a part-time job, literally. Like I've watched that many YouTube videos, just searching for the truth, really. And I don't have a religious background, so I'm not really drawn to that part of it. Well, I shouldn't say that. Let me rechange this, how I want to phrase this. Like every time I've gone into a church or whatever, it doesn't feel right? It doesn't resonate with me. So
I'm with you on that.
My first time I came across Matthew's YouTube channel, and I can't even remember what the name of the title was to that YouTube, but like I was like immediately connected with him and his lessons, and I totally resonated with everything that he said.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is like the shit that I've been looking for all these years.
Right.
Like he just cuts right to it. Yep. And I don't want to say that he's blunt about it, but he's not going to beat around the bush and put nice words in there to make you feel better.
Yeah, he's not going to candy coat it.
No. And and just like the things that he brought up, I mean, I have to say, like, since his video though, like his very first one, like I immediately, like a week later, was like, oh my gosh, I got to work with him. Like he's been my teacher I've been searching for my whole life.
Yeah.
But it's not even that, but like all of his other videos that I've come across, he'll mention other mentors that he's had, which is nice. It's not like he's keeping us in the dark.
Right.
Like, we got his wisdom. And so that's what I do. It's like I hear one person and they'll mention a name and I'm like, oh, I got to Google that. And
yeah.
And I've actually kind of slowed my pace down now. So I'm trying to just focus on just, one or two teachers at this moment. So Matthew is one of those. And so, I mean, I can't even begin to tell you like how much like he's totally taken the veil off of my eyes. Like
awesome
shit. Like I didn't even believe, like, I don't even know how to put it into words.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful that I came across that video and for him sharing that wisdom.
Right.
And so when the eagle eye came up, I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. Like,
you're so close.
Well, and you know, it's Puerto Rico. Like,
yeah,
who wouldn't want to go?
Yeah.
But just my gut was saying like, you really need to be here. And like, I mean, I've done a few other workshops.
Yeah.
And I've worked with other coaches and whatnot, but theirs was basically like pre-recorded training sessions. They weren't interaction.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, where are you and where are you stuck?
Yeah.
It wasn't guiding, it was just like, here's a book and I'm going to read it out loud to you. And then you figure it out.
Yeah.
Matthews isn't like that at all.
Yeah.
This workshop wasn't like that at all. I mean, it was some stuff really shifted.
Good.
Not only that, awesome. Like I'm telling you, like it makes a huge difference between going in person and physically sensing and being around the energy.
Yeah.
Than listening to it on YouTube or talking on the phone or even doing Skype.
Or even doing, because you jumped onto some of the classes, some of the Facebook classes. So there's a difference between the Facebook classes and then coming live and learning them, definitely.
Yeah, I think, there's a huge difference. And even though, I mean, I feel like I catch on pretty quick. And I would say that I'm pretty smart and I catch on, But however, there's still a difference between like listening to somebody showing you on a computer screen.
Yeah.
And physically being there in person.
Right.
It's just more powerful. That's all I can say. It's just more powerful.
So would you like to share just a little bit of, what do you do? You're an entrepreneur, you have your own business. And you were at a place, from what I remember, where like you're sharing, you were kind of looking and searching and you resonated with a lot of Matthew's work, which is what you just said. But I think what I find interesting is that you do what a lot of people who come to the workshops either want to be an entrepreneur or they've been an entrepreneur, but you come from the background of you and your husband are true entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So when you need to boost in your income or make a change, it's up to you. It's not like, okay, how do I get a raise at my job or how do I switch positions? It's up to you and you, which all of us it is. But to take the initiative, and I commend you for that. And everybody who comes to the workshops, I always like to do a round of applause because there's a lot of things that ask for our attention. And to take the time to not only binge out on YouTube videos, but to be on, like even tonight, live, taking the time, and thank you for being here, Melinda, taking the time out of your life to jump online and chat about something that you'd already done. But Matthew and I think it's really powerful for people to hear from others than ourselves to say, hey, this is a life-changing experience. And we've got another opportunity coming up in February. Granted, it's not in Puerto Rico, but I'll be there. So I'll warm it up a little bit. Okay. If you were to meet somebody and like you are right now, talking to us, there's a few people probably going to be watching this or watching right now on the edge of their seats wondering like, okay, sure, of course it worked for you, but why would it work for me? And I'm stuck and it's going to cost me money that I don't really know if I feel comfortable parting with to invest in myself. Like, what would you say to somebody who's never invested in themselves to do something like this, or even be somebody who has? And they've done a lot of things. They've been to Tony Robbins. They've been to Abraham Hicks. They've been to all the gurus with the big hoorah, like huge auditoriums. So like, what would you tell those two people?
Well, I've actually been on both sides. So I've started this journey probably in 2007. Mm-hmm. So between 2007 and today, I have taken a lot of seminars, a lot of workshops, a lot of books, a lot of classes, a lot of teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always feel like, you know, when I first listened to a teacher, first I'm like, do I really feel it in my heart? Like, this is it. Like, I get it. Like, I get what they're saying. And you know, it's the truth, what you're hearing, because you just feel it to your core and your soul. Right. He's showing us the truth. Mm-hmm. And so even though when I came across him now, just so that you know, a little backup, like my husband has not done any of these workshops, except for we did do the Grant Cardone 10X.
I did that. So the online one, or was it in person? I did an online one.
No, we went to Las Vegas. So
okay.
Super high energy, and then all they want to do is sell you courses. So,
sure. Okay. Sell you the upgrade.
So sometimes I get a little, I mean, I've been really skeptical because every time I seem to go to one of these, at the end of it, it's like
pressure.
You're going to sell me. Like,
yeah.
What is it that you need to keep me going?
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm not going to let you go, because I'm just going to keep milking you for everything.
Yep. I'm not going to give you really what you came for until you come back.
Right. Yeah. And it seems like, you know, really, and like some of these classes and seminars that I've gone to, it's like, oh, if you really want the golden nugget, you got to give us another $4,000.
Yep.
So I'm really, really, really leery of like signing up. And of course, my husband is like, no, you're done. Like, you're taking all of these courses and you're not doing anything with them, and da 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 da. And it's because I feel like they're okay, you know, I am an entrepreneur, so I have to be a self-starter, and I have to have initiative in my life, right? But when it comes to learning either my spiritual growth or figuring out my money blocks or figuring out my creative blocks or any of that stuff, I don't have to figure it out on my own, because I can't. It's harder for me to see in the inside. So with this workshop was the first workshop that I've ever been to that was, 1, a hands-on, 2, it was personalized, and 3, I mean, he totally took, you know, an hour out of his time to help me with a breakthrough that I've been needing for so long in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, good.
And that, you know, I mean, like, really, like that, you can't even put a price on that.
Yeah.
You really can't.
Well,
and
you make me tear up.
It's not even like, this is what I liked about your workshop was it's not cookie cutter. I mean, yes, you're going to have some, you know, orderly into the class, and it needs to be, right? But if somebody was stuck, or if somebody else needed additional help, like, we all just gave our love together and we made it happen. You know, the other thing is too, is friendships.
Yeah, there's
are huge. Like, these are lifelong friendships that I'll always have. So I guess, to make a long story short, I was skeptic. I was actually very, very nervous to even bring it up to my husband, because I knew he was going to argue with me about it. But I just knew in my core, in my soul, like, I needed to give this one a try. And my intuition was right. So
good. Yay. Awesome.
Yeah.
So what I heard you say, if anybody's, you know, listening and thinking one of the other ways, you know, you've been, for those who are watching who've been around the block, and those who are watching who, you know, haven't even delved into something like this, but something's telling you it might be a good idea. What I heard you saying is that in your experience, and I've had this experience as well, is you go to a workshop and they're always selling on to the next thing, at least by the end of the workshop. But usually, and from what I remember, and you might agree with me here, is throughout the workshop, they're kind of planting seeds on what they're going to be introducing and offering and selling you on, and you feel like a real, I'm going to bite my tongue here, but you can easily feel like really, really stupid to say no. So they do a really good job of making you say yes, and then you leave saying yes and thinking, oh man, why did I do that?
Right. That's exactly what it is.
We had gone to, do you remember what's his name? James Martinez, I think it was. Maybe no, I don't have the name right. Wait. I can't remember the guy's name. But he was on the movie The Secret. And he was selling people on, we went to one of his in Las Vegas, and at the end they're selling everybody on these things. And good thing Matthew was with, because I was like, oh my God, we got to do it. And he's like, he saw through it completely, like, you know, don't listen, Sabrina, just stick by me and I'll protect you kind of thing. And I'm all like, la la la. But fast forward to some of those next workshops, he did a sweat lodge and like 2 or 3 people died.
Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Anyway,
but yeah.
So after that and that whole experience, that was a little while ago, but same sort of thing where you're being sold for the next thing, and you kind of feel stupid if you don't opt in, and they have other people around you who are opting in, and you're like questioning yourself, because all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I came here to get helped, and the real help I need is at that next workshop. But what I hear you saying, Melinda, is what I agree, and most likely others who've been to multiple workshops of ours, is one, it's not cookie cutter, so what you get at one workshop is going to be different at the next, and the different from the next. And 2, at the workshop, we're never pressuring you or pushing you. We don't even announce another workshop until after we get back and premeditate, like, are we going to do this again? Where do we want to do it? What dates look good? So we don't even offer an upgrade at the workshop to go to the next one, because like I share with, and I may have shared with you and shared with a lot of people, is the only guarantee I have is for the workshop we have in front of us. After that, I make no promises. Right. We've always planned it just one workshop at a time. But so what I hear you saying, and I could be wrong, is 1, it's not cookie cutter. 2, you get one-on-one, more direct, like interpersonal connection that's customized. And 3, you don't get the pressure of feeling like you need to be upgrading or, dropping all your savings. But if you want to invest, like, I'll help you out. But so.
Well, and the other thing is like, he teaches you to become your own guru.
Yeah.
Like everything that you have is within you. And he teaches you how to get to that and how to break through that and how to do techniques that'll change your life. So it's, the thing is like with his, is like, he doesn't teach you with a little carrot and here we're going to dangle it and we're going to keep it coming.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You would want, like me going back, it's like, would I go to the next workshop? Of course I would.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I might learn something again, or, it's just reprogramming. It's repetition too. It's ingraining it in your brain. And then, the other thing is, which is something that you can't put a price tag on, is meeting similar people that are on the same path you're on.
Yep.
And you have somebody that you can talk to without sounding like you're off your rocker.
Yeah. I agree. And it's a lot. What you just said is like what Beverly said last week. And I've heard from other people who've been to multiple workshops, is that every workshop she gets something more. And she's only missed one, so she's been to as many as we've had, basically, like I said, except for one she didn't make it to. And she said every time she hears something that she swears she's never heard before. Right. And I've heard that from other participants who've said, has he ever said that before? And I said, yeah, he said that at every workshop. But it's that reminder that we're always somebody new. We're always evolving. So who you showed up at the last workshop to is somebody totally different than you are today. And then fast forward in February, if you're able to attend when we have it here at the indoor water park at the Blue Harbor on Lake Michigan, saltwater indoor water park, might I add, so it doesn't smell really bad. It doesn't burn your eyes. But so if it's something you decide to attend and bring Barry or have anybody else join you, you will then also be a whole different person than you are even today. And then especially by applying what you have learned. Now, do you remember, and I want to quiz you here, and I think I know what some of your answers might be, but have you been using, now there's a lot of techniques Matthew teaches at the workshops, of them that maybe there's about like 3 core ones, I'd say. Of them all, which ones do you feel like you've been using the most regularly? And you can share the names of the techniques and stuff, you know.
Definitely that ABC break, and the safe touch. And actually, I was doing the safe touch with Barry, so we did it as a team, which was cool.
Oh, my heart.
Yeah, I mean, that was actually really cool that he wanted to learn that with me. So, and you know, the other one, which it's a technique, but it's a group technique, and that's the one that we do every day for each other.
Nobody knows about this. Maybe only people who've been to a workshop know about this. That's exclusive to the workshop.
Yeah, so maybe that one's like the secret, like
it's kind of a secret.
You got to come to the workshop to figure out what this third one is.
Yeah,
but the third one is probably the most powerful one for me.
Yeah,
it's the love and connection and accountability, and
you can feel it. It's like you look forward to it.
Yeah,
it feels good, and you really feel like, so I've been to other workshops, you've been to workshops, and maybe some of you watching have as well, but there's something to be said about once you get home and you're expected to apply what you've learned. And I'll tell you that this third one that Melinda is referencing is one that it makes you really feel like almost like the workshop hasn't ended. Like when when this happens every day, there's that feeling of togetherness, that cohesiveness, the bonding that happened at the workshop, and it's continued on. And how long has it been? It's been 3 weeks? No, 2 weeks?
3 weeks.
Well, we got home on the 9th. It's been 2 weeks. Yeah, more.
And the thing is, I think the other thing with that is too, which I think is worth mentioning, is that this is, to me, like, this is like a group coaching.
Yeah.
In a way. And it's already paid for itself. You know what I mean? It's not like you got to pay a monthly due to stay connected, to be held accountable. It's, we have our own team now.
Yep.
And like that you can't even put a price on that either.
I agree. And I think what I heard you just say is what I feel like I hope people who are watching and who've gotten to know Matthew and the Allow Ministries and myself is the generous heart. Like, I feel like Matthew always packs so much in. He creates so much value, and it's not until maybe someone either tries to do it themselves or really starts to submerge themselves, like even come into a workshop and really get a full feeling and really grasp what this, I don't want to say mad scientist, but sometimes I feel like he's like, his ability to not only create, but then to convey and then bring it to you and then deliver. And he's always striving to go above and beyond. And it makes my heart, it fills my heart even that much more by you just sharing what you said of how good it feels to be, you know, what you've gotten from the workshop since you've been home and while you were there. So
and one other thing though, too, is that even all of these techniques that he teaches, you physically do it. Like I physically had to get up and do it myself, even though I might have said, oh, I don't know if I want to do it in front of everybody.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's like you get over that fear.
Yeah.
And, you know, and there were a couple that were already there before, and they kind of help coach too, which is kind of nice. So it's almost like you got like dual coaching because you had other members that were already there.
Yeah.
But you actually do the activity so that you know that you're doing it the right way.
Right. And there's that something you'd said earlier. It's like the like compassion. There's the cohesiveness, but then also by like what you were just saying, stepping into doing something that maybe you've done in the privacy of your own home and wondered, like, I think I'm doing it right. I've watched the videos and I've read the breakdown. I've texted in and I've seen what it says, but I still am not sure. And I don't want anybody to know. Like, I don't want anybody to see me. But at the workshops, we do it. And that step in allowing yourself to be that vulnerable. Like you're like stepping into a group with your, like, I don't want to say with your pants down, but you know, like your layers of the onion, you're so vulnerable is the real word, but then at the same time that feeling of really being like holy buckets, but then you get over it, and that's part of what connects everybody that much more, so that when you go home it's like, I know Melinda, you know, and I could rattle off everybody's name. I know Beverly in a way, and then you know, like you'd said about wanting to return, or others who've been to multiple workshops, is that bond is forever. So then when you meet new people, and you learn that much more, and you keep applying. Like I've been with Matthew since he's learned these techniques and created them, right? But I can't say I've done them. I'm a lot like Barry. I had barely been to anything. He was the one going off and doing everything and trying to figure things out. And I'm like, more power to you. You got this. You know, I'll feed the dogs and make sure the kids are alive, you know, things like that. Just keeping the basics.
Yeah.
So I go to these workshops very much on the same side of the fence as a lot of people who are coming, who are like, you know, but I commend all of you that much more because I'm helping facilitate it. I haven't opted in and jumped on a plane and taken off of work, or, in the ways that a lot of you have. So I'm rattling on. Let's see, is anybody on here live who have any questions? If you jump on and make any comments, make sure to put your name on there, because we're on the Be Live software. So I see a lot of hellos on here, and but I don't see any names. So if you want me to know who you are, I'm just going to read a few comments, Melinda, and then we'll continue on a little bit more here before Matthew will be on in about 15 minutes. So let's see. Matthew Hurtado resonates at a new, different vibration and frequency. Praise God in his ministry. We are blessed to have him in this present. I agree. Thank you. I'm not sure who wrote that, but I agree. Peace and warm greetings, everyone. Let's see. Me too. I always learn something I missed at the previous workshop. Ooh, who is? Oh, it's you, Dennis. Hi, Dennis. Are you coming? Dennis is very close. He came to visit. He lives very close to us. I got to visit with him the other weekend. Wasn't that great?
Oh, that's awesome.
So if anybody has any questions, Stephen, hello. Oh, good. You're enjoying this. Wonderful. Make sure to post any questions. Melinda, share with me anything else that comes to mind, or any questions you may have had before you were coming. I feel like you've put a lot out there, and but if there was anything else that's been popping up that anybody jumping on might be watching, might be like wondering, and that you could share.
Well, I think one thing that really stood out for me too when I first came across him was that he gave away so much for free. I mean, his books, 2 of his books he gave away for free. All of his techniques he gave away for free. I mean, so there wasn't anything that he charged for, other than, I personally wanted some one-on-one coaching with him.
Yeah.
And that was something that I needed in my life. Yeah. But I think, and then of course I did a couple of other courses with him too. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm telling you, like, for me personally, going in person, there's just something magical about being around the presence of both you and Matthew.
Thank you.
The energy is amazing. You guys are super loving. Even though Matthew seemed like he was a little quiet in person than he is on YouTube. Like on YouTube, he just seems like this big, loud guy.
Yeah, and he's not.
No, and then you meet him in person, and it's like, are you sure that's him?
Yeah, he's like a shy, introverted, antisocial. He's very much a private person. He's a very private person, but and so when he shares what to do to get to where you might need to be, there might be sacrifices that you're not willing to make. People aren't all willing to make the sacrifices he makes in order to attain what he does, if that makes sense. So some people would, like, even come to the workshop. It might be better to go to, fantasy football game. I'm just kidding. Maybe,
No, I know
you know what I mean? Like there might be something that's socially way more acceptable that by the standards you live in, you need to stay within that status quo than to break the norm and break the mold and go and do something that'll nourish your soul. And some people won't ever make that decision, you know?
And I think it's more than just, I mean, nourishing the soul, I think is part of it, but
Right.
it's an investment into yourself.
Definitely.
Like, you're on this, you're here in one lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, it's like, we're here to learn, to discover, to see who we are.
Yep.
And sometimes it helps having a mentor or a coach that'll help speed up that process. That's where I am in life. Like, so like I said, I have listened to hundreds, and I have hundreds and hundreds of books. So, and I almost feel like I need to go to class that says, yeah, I'm one of those, and I got this.
Yeah. You're with him. You guys are, that's why you're even here, because that's like Matthew. He's constantly speed reading, and he'll put videos on. Maybe you do this where you can speed them up.
I do.
And I'll listen. I'm like, what is he listening to? And it's like,
it's funny because Barry will come by me and he'll go, oh my God, did you speed up that video again? Because I do it like times two.
Yeah.
It's really, you gotta like really focus on what they're saying.
Yeah.
But now I've just taken that 30-minute video down to 15 minutes.
Yeah, 15, exactly. And yeah, so yeah, awesome. Yeah. You're right. When we expire from this opportunity as a human, the last thing we're going to be taking with us is money. It's all a figment anyways. So why not do with it what we need in order to honor ourselves? Like as humans, we really need to honor ourselves. And some of us have a real challenge with it because we might put obligations or other people or even other people's expectations of us or other people's words. Some people have some pretty heavy words that they're willing to rattle off, and some people we just don't even want to hear those words, so we'd rather not go against it, and that's when we need to be mindful of our environment and about who we choose to allow in our space,
right.
So it's like what you're saying of making these connections with, if any of you who are watching ever wonder, and I swear I said this years ago, I'd always said, I wonder where my people are. Like, I feel like there have to be people on this planet who think like I do, like kind of out there, kind of against the grain, open-minded, but like I feel like I waver from both sides. But so when you come to these workshops, I feel like that's the most beautiful thing that we never could have predicted, which was the connections and then that comfort that all of a sudden you have people who not only have gone through what you've gone through of learning, you've dedicated yourself in a way to come to a workshop. You've been following Matthew's work. You've spoken on the phone with Sabrina. You may have emailed with her, and then you've gone to these workshops. So and then not only is it like a soul family, but for some people, it's the first time ever that they don't feel alone anymore. And at any given moment, you can jump on to the group and chat with anybody, and majority of us have our text. We can text each other or pick up the phone and call one of our new soul family if you're ever at a place where like, I just need to talk to somebody who could understand right now and remind me, like, what should I do right now? Like, I'm stuck and I know I should use a technique and I don't really want, to confess to Matthew or Sabrina that I can't remember which one to use. Yeah,
but you've bailed me out a couple of times where I had a really dark night of the soul, and it's like I needed somebody, and yeah, so I mean that was a huge blessing too. So I thank you for that and your time and and your wisdom, and just go to the beach. Who cares? Yeah. Go to the beach.
Yeah. It's the truth. So good. I'm so glad that that you're a truth seeker like yourself, Melinda, just like, Matthew. And in majority of, most likely, a lot of people who are watching this video are more seekers of the truth. And I think Matthew really, he how do I want to say this? He's like the beacon of light for some of us, of leading the way. Like once he won't give up until he knows the truth. And once he finds the truth about anything, he's going to be sharing it because he can't tolerate, just can't handle, and I don't know where I'm rambling here with.
No, but that's the thing with Matthew. It's like, he's going to share it. He's going to share the truth with everyone and anybody that wants to listen. That's what's so great about Matthew. It's like, he's not in it. In my opinion, when I first came across him, he's not in it like, oh, I'm going to make money and get this and that or whatever. He's totally doing it from his heart on exposing the truth and helping us find our way back home.
Yeah. And
really, there's something to be said about that. And that's why I was like, you know what, I have to be at this workshop. So,
aw, yay.
No, I mean, he's different. He's a different teacher. And then, of course, he's got like a really cool sidekick. So, who runs the show and makes it fun.
I try to lighten it up a little bit, make sure everybody's laughing.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't all work.
Yeah, no.
A bit of play in there.
Yeah, we definitely did.
It was fun.
Definitely did. You took advantage of probably one of the most laid back workshops. A lot of the other workshops are a little bit more strict. But this one was one that I'm so glad that everybody who had a chance to experience it, of just really, really getting a chance to enjoy ourselves during the workshop as well. So, okay, so let's see. I'm going to jump on and read some of these comments. And a reminder, anybody jumping on and making notes, I don't know who you are. So if you put your name on, just because I don't have, we're using this software, so I don't see names if you're making notes. So I'm going to read this real quick here because in about 7 minutes, Matthew's going to be jumping on and I don't want to be overlapping here. So, okay, MDH's awareness and explanation of prosperity versus the scripture is always excellent. I agree. I have to say, Melinda, you jumped on earlier and made reference to religion. I remember going to church, going to Bible class before church when I was little, and I don't know how little I was. I was really little. And I remember going to the classes and they're teaching the stories. And I remember looking at these adults who are teaching the stories and the other kids and thinking, do you guys believe what they're saying? Like, this just all sounds, just hold on. And and I remember they're talking about the Bible and they're reading the Bible. And I was sitting here looking at the church saying, so all of you believe a book that was written how long ago? And even as a little kid, I was like, wait, it was rewritten how many times? And what language was it? Like, I feel like a little intuitive child knew better of like, wait, I see through all of this. I don't feel like what you're saying is really what happened. And I just remember that feeling of falseness, like just something wrong. And so when Matthew started, and we've been, like I said, when he shared the story of when we first met is when he first started tithing, and he'd said how I need a tithe. And I read some books, and I watched some YouTube videos of some people he was following about tithing. And I was like, it's just money, I'll always have more than I'll ever need. I don't know where I got that. That's a belief that I got ingrained from a young age. But so I was like, well, what do I got to lose? Like, it's just money. So started tithing. But anyways, I'd never been very religious, and I always wondered, like, I knew there was something to the Bible and something about, Jesus, coming in the truth that he was conveying. But I wasn't really interested because I thought a lot of people were crazy who were involved with all that. So I was like, I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. But I remember getting to a point in my life right around when I met Matthew where I thought, I think I need to change how I'm living my life because I don't know how to live it any other way than I'm living it, and I'm not happy. And so I knew that people were all, I always thought they were fakey, nicey at church. Like, oh, my life is so good, I'm so happy. I was always like, oh, bullshit. I don't blame you. But I got to the point where I'm like, I think I need to go to church.
And like when I went to church, I felt worse leaving there than when I got there. So that was my cue. That was like, no, I'm not, I'm out. But
yeah.
Matthew teaches it in practical everyday terms too.
Yes.
It was really helpful.
Yeah.
Like he even did that at the workshop, and he just broke it down and got into flow state.
Yeah.
And like, man, that's just so cool how you can do that and interpret it like that.
Yeah.
And he totally makes sense.
He's like in a trance. I feel like, yeah. All right, I'm going to have to start wrapping this up because Matthew's going to be jumping on here soon, but I'm going to read a few more of these comments. Live streaming is so popular in China, by the way. So I'm guessing maybe you're watching from China. Thank you. I'm glad. And they say, thank you for doing this. So wonderful. Yes, live stream shopping. Text list is smarter. Well, okay, I'm not quite sure. I'll have to jump on and see what more this, but then correctness versus truth. So sharing story titles or stories. Bleh. Yep, I agree. It says someone's just jumping on and commenting about reverse speech. Maybe in a week or two, I'll be able to jump on and interview Alex, and she can share a little bit about what her reverse speech had to say.
Oh, that's hilarious. That was good.
Keep it a little PC tonight, but Melinda, first, I want to say thank you again so much for coming on tonight.
You're welcome.
And was there anything else before we sign off that you'd like to share?
No, just that, everyone should be there.
Yeah.
Invest in yourself.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and with that being said, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. And I'm guessing next week is New Year's Eve. So I don't know, maybe we'll do New Year's Eve live. I'm not sure. If not, if I don't see you, Matthew will go on Sunday, I'm sure. So I won't see you most likely until next year. So peace, love, and grooviness. Thank you again. And I hope you all have a good night. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.